Yeah, check this out, man. I'm about to do my another righteous rant, man. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said some crazy stuff, man, on my last one about there's no Yahweh Shai and all that. You, Negro, you making sense? You know what I'm saying? Let's stop talking like you a retard or something. You understand? And I'm gonna say this disrespectfully, okay? All right, we have the Old New Testament, the KJV. We have the books that were written. You know what I'm saying? These books were written, and these are the books that we follow. You understand what I'm saying? Trying to disregard a part of the Bible because you think you know something that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Do you know the Dead Sea Scrolls? All the books that were written together? Do you know about that? Do you know about the Nag Hammadi? You know, Gnostic Gospels? The secrets that the secret teachings of Hamashiach Yahushai? Are you saying Jesus? You saying Yahushai? You trying to compare him to Jesus Christ? Don't even try that, man, because that shit don't even make sense. There is no comparison against false Jesus Christ, white Jesus Christ, Caesar Borgia, the image that they use, and they've used other images before. Just to have an image of him, because there is no image of him. Okay? We know that he's a black man with woolly hair, Revelations 1, 13, 1 and 14. You know what I'm saying? We understand that. However, that's Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. Okay? Son of the Most High Yahweh. Alright, the only begotten. The firstborn of every creature, the beginning and the end. Okay? Not some false god of Christianity. Alright? And for you Israelites that say that, oh, the false god of Christianity, that's not the true God, you're right. So why are you using the same type of way to explain it? Why are you using the same type of verbs? I mean, same type of scriptures. Why are you not using the ones that actually show who the Most High actually is? Not you have an idea, you have a zeal, but not according to knowledge. Meaning, you know something's wrong with the Christian story, but you don't have the actual knowledge, meaning gnosis. You don't have the knowledge to actually know why the Christian God of Christianity, okay, the God of Judaism, Christianity, why it's not true, why it is the devil. You may know that, but you use the same verbiage and the same wording, the same scriptures, and that's not what we're supposed to do. The Gnostic Gospels explain to you exactly the difference between the God that most people think of, the God of Christianity, Catholicism, Judaism, in their denominations, is not the God, the creator of heaven and earth, not the Most High. Okay? The Gnosis, the Nag Hammadi, the Gnostic Gospels actually tell you the missing link of who you're talking to, who you're dealing with. And any Israelite that doesn't want to come on board, you can go kick rocks. Believe me, in all aspects, you can go and kick rocks. I am not upset with you. I don't have no hatred for you. Nothing. You could just go in another direction. Because I study Gnosis. I study Gnosticism. I study mysticism. Okay? And the lost books of the Bible. And that's what we teach from at the Order of Melchizedek. And we are unapologetic about that. We don't have we're not coming around here ignorant. We're not ignorant. All right, we're not running around here ignorant. All right, we know what we're dealing with, and we know what type of God we're dealing with. We know what type of Christ we're dealing with. We know what the false God, false Christ. We have that knowledge of that. And if you want to know that, then just give me a contact. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what we do over here at the Order of Melchizedek. You understand what I'm saying? We have, we deal with knowledge. of we deal with knowledge of the universe, knowledge of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think they follow the Most High, and they really follow a Lord or a God who is not the Most High. That's what you need to realize. Are you following the Most High? Are you following Christ? Or are you following an imposter? Or are you following a false one? You understand what I'm saying? Christianity thinks they're following the true God. They always say God, they never say the Most High. Ever. You never hear them say that. And just because a brother read God or the Lord does not mean it's the Most High. Because the Most High is specific. Okay? The Lord is Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. Who is the Most High? Yahweh, the Father. Okay? If these terminologies are not used, you need to assume that it's maybe not talking about the Most High, depending on the verbiage. You may say that the New Testament contradicts the Old Testament. Really? It says the exact same thing as the Old Testament. But you know what? Somebody's going to run with it, right? Someone will say the Apocrypha contradicts the Old and New Testament, and they'll run with that. So for you brothers saying that the Enoch, Jasher, Jubilees, and so forth and so on is not a true book, not truly when it was in the Dead Sea Scrolls, along with the rest of the Bible, in the Ethiopian texts that go back 340 AD, then you know what? Just change the channel, turn the page, because obviously we're not in the same circle. You got your thing that you deal with the Most High, the way you deal with it, and I got mine. You understand what I'm saying? We're dealing with the original text, the original books, the original documents, and they're translated in whatever language we need. English in my case, Aramaic, Hebrew. We're not here to play no games, because contrary to popular belief, a lot of people think the Bible is just translated and nothing happened. It was just translated, and then that was the end of that. No, the translation had words added and taken away, books taken out, taken away, decisions made to take books in and out, to add books, to take away books. Decisions were made by people who had an agenda, who had a doctrine they were trying to push. You understand? And for you to read the same Bible as the Roman Catholics, the same Bible as the modern day Christians, and think that you're going to get the truth from that is crazy work. You understand? You do see the thing I got to give the brothers at One West. They are speaking truth. They're doing the best they can, reading the Spirit, reading what they can read. However, you don't have to try to read. The Holy Spirit will show you right from wrong. And there are books explaining commandments and laws, explaining what happened in the garden, explaining what happened in certain time periods of ancient Israel. And instead of looking up for it, y'all turn around and you just try to guess it. Second guessing. Instead of actually looking for what that means. There are books written. Even if it's not part of the regular biblical canon, there were books written outside of the Bible that actually, recorded historical events that happened. Okay? And those need to be looked at and spoken about. Whether you believe it or not, it needs to be discussed. All right? So everything is not in the Bible. We have books that have historical events. Now, if you don't believe in Jubilee, Jasher, first of all, it's in the Dead Sea Scrolls. It's automatically a book of the Bible. But let's just say, like for example, the Grimoires of King Solomon, Greater and Lesser Key, Testament of Solomon, Oldies, those are not regular books part of the canon, but they are books written. And they're books to be observed and be looked at. All right, shalom. And I'm going to tell you, I'm in New York City, Um, you know, the Bronx to be exact. You want to be technical. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here near I'm near the East Tremont area, but I'm actually, they call this Mount Hope. You know what I'm saying? Over there near the 176, the Grand Concourse. You know what I mean? You know, it's passing through, man. You know, I teach out here in New York, state of New York. I teach in Connecticut and New Jersey. You know, three places where I like to go and teach at. But these are my places that I've been to the longest. I've been to and lived in. All right. So, in the order of Melchizedek, there's a lot of things that we have plans on doing. We have plans on our garments. You know, we have plans on how we're gonna run everything, and we baptize with water. We definitely baptize our people with water. Okay, we baptize. We baptize with actual water, and you know, we do foot washings. We do all of that. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what we're doing, man. This is what we're doing. You know, the order of Melchizedek is something that, you know, is long overdue. You know, because no one really calls it that. We like to say Yahweh Shai is a priest after the order of Melchizedek and so forth and so on. However, nobody gets into detail of what that should entail. So what I'm doing is I'm putting together little by little the rites and rituals of the order of Melchizedek. That's what I'm doing, putting it all together. You understand what I'm saying? And once we put together the protocols of the order of Melchizedek, it will be a banner for the rest of the nation of Israel. 144,000 12-tribe children of Israel is being put together, and it's going to be all scriptural. All right, shalom.